Hello guys, my name is Brittany. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be giving you a tutorial of how to make a jellyfish. So I am using this yarn here, which is by Loops and Threads. It's in Impeccable Speckle Stripes. I think this yarn was clearance when I got it, so I don't know if they have it, but it is a medium weight yarn. You can see the 4 here. Just use any yarn that you want. Obviously, if you have a yarn that is thicker, the jellyfish will be bigger. If you have one that's smaller, thinner, then the jellyfish will be smaller. So I will be using a 4.25 millimeter hook. You can't really see it here because it's white. And then you will need a needle, a stitch marker, and stuffing. And then for the eyes, I will be using safety eyes. When I have made this jellyfish in the past, I've used thicker yarn, so it ends up being bigger. So I don't know which eyes I will be using. I'm thinking it's either going to be 10 millimeter or 12 millimeter. So we'll see once we get to that. And then I wanted to say that this is a pattern that I created myself. To start off, you can either make a magic ring of 6 or you can chain 2. I am going to chain 2. I like to do the chain 2 method when I am using a yarn that is like this and not like real fuzzy. When you do yarn like this, as you can see, it's kind of fuzzy, and when you do the chain 2 method, it can be hard to like pull the chain, the tail right here, to make it tightened once you have this once you have put this single crochets into the first chain. So you're gonna do the chain 2 and single crochet 6 into this first chain. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you can see, this chain has opened up. So what I was talking about before is that when you pull this, it makes it tighter, and that can be hard to do with fuzzy, furry, thicker yarn that is like this, or the blanket yarn. But I like the chain 2 method more when I am working with this yarn. So now we have 6, and it's kind of like a circle. So when we count back, it's 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this first stitch that we made, we are going to insert the hook and single crochet 2 in that same stitch, or increase. So we've got 1, 2, and we're just going to do that around till we get 12. So this is 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm not using a stitch marker right now, so every so often I like to just go back and count the stitches to make sure I have the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now if you use a stitch marker, you can just put it before you start the next round, and then you would just like crochet around like you would normally. So for the third round, you will single crochet. So with a stitch marker, it's going to look like this. You have the stitch marker here, and then you're going to finish the single crochet and pull through this stitch marker. So we've got 1 single crochet made, and then we're going to increase. So this is the second stitch that we've made, and the third. So you're going to, all the way around this, you're going to single crochet and then increase until you get 18. So that's 3, here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh, that's not right. Almost did 15 in the next stitch, but 15 should be right here. This should have been an increase, not single crochet. So this is 16, 17, 18. If you end up missing like one stitch around, it's not that big of a deal. You can just increase in the last stitch to bring you up to, you can add another single crochet in the stitch, last stitch, to bring you up to that number. Really, it's pretty forgiven if you just miss one or two, like, well, I don't know about two. If you miss like one stitch, you can always just add that stitch in somewhere. You don't necessarily have to take it apart and redo it. So now we are going to go on to round 4. If you're using a stitch marker, you're going to take it out and move it up, and you're going to do 1 single crochet, another single crochet. So you make 2 single crochets and then you increase 3 and 4, and you're just going to repeat the 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets, increase, all the way around to get to 24. So this is 4. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So this is where we're going to stop, and we're just going to single crochet around from rounds 5 to 8. So I'm going to, this is when I would use a stitch marker, when I'm single crocheting around. So you would just take it out, put it back on the hook, and then start single crocheting around. So this is round 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now, I would continue single crocheting around, leaving the stitch marker here, so that, because you can, when you look at it, you can kind of see where each new round starts. Like if you look, once you get further, you'll be able to see that this stitch here is the first stitch, and you can just kind of follow the line to know where to stop. So this was round 5. So now we're going to go to 6. So round 6 is complete, and it can be hard to see with the stitch marker. So if you kind of like hold it, this first stitch of round 5 is right here, and then when you go like straight above it, this is the first stitch of round 6. So now we're going to go to round 7. So round 7 is complete. You can see this is round 5, 6, and then 7. So you can kind of follow that line all the way up to know where the first stitch of each round is. Now this is going to be round 8, which is the last round of single crochets. So now you can see this kind of, when you pull it apart, you can kind of see where those stitches line up. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but yeah, you can see this is 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've completed round 8, and now we are going to make these little ruffles around it. So in the front loop only, so this is the back loop, this is the front loop. When you're single crocheting, you're going through both of them. For this, you're just going to go through the first loop, this front loop here. Front loop, back loop, front loop, back loop. So you're going to do front loop only for this round, and you're going to start with a slip stitch, and then you're going to do a half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, all in one stitch. And this is still working in front loop only. So front loop only, you're going to slip stitch, then you're going to go into the next stitch, front loop only, and half double, double, half double. And you're just going to repeat this pattern around of going into the front loop only. So got half, double, half, slip stitch. Okay, so we have completed the round 9, and it looks like this. Okay, so now that we have completed round 9, you can insert the eyes. I have decided to use 10mm, so you can just put them wherever you think. I think this looks pretty good, so I put them in between rounds 5 and 6. You're gonna put the backs on. There's one eye, and then there's another eye. And now we are going to move on to round 10. So a great thing about this pattern is that it is no sew. So next we are going to work in the back loops of the previous round. So you worked in the front loops of round 9, so now you can see these back loops here. And we are going to start decreasing. So we're going to single crochet 2. There's 1, 2, and then in the third one we are decreasing. The third stitch is a decrease. We're going to do that around until we get 18. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Looks like this, and then the bottom, you can see right along here that it is getting smaller. Now we are going to work in the front loops only again, because this is no sew. We will be creating the tentacles. So front loop only, going to single crochet into the first stitch, and then you're going to chain 20. So it should look like this. And then in the second chain from hook, you're going to single crochet and single crochet into each stitch, each chain, until you get back to the body. So we have reached the last chain and we single crocheted. So now it looks like this. Into that same front loop that you single crocheted in, you're going to make a slip stitch. So then looks like this. And then you're going to go into the next, still working on the front loop only, and you are going to single crochet. And then you're going to single crochet again and chain 20. And you're going to work back down the chain with single crochets. Now I'm not going to show making all 8 legs because it takes a while just to make one, but all the way around you are going to repeat this. You're going to single crochet, then chain 20, then single crochet back down the chain with 19 single crochets, and then slip stitch into that same stitch and single crochet into the next stitch. Now after you make, if you want the legs evenly spaced out, after you make 4 legs, you're going to do 2 single crochets in between the legs. So if you look, there is 1 single crochet in between these 2. Once you get to the 4th leg and it's complete, you're going to do 2 single crochets. So instead of having 1 single crochet in between it, you will have 2. This just kind of helps even out the legs and make it look just even, a bit more evenly spaced. Because we have 18, we have 18 single crochets around here, and half of 18 is 9, but we want 8 legs. So once I get to the 4th leg, I will show you what I mean. So I have completed 4 legs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm going to single crochet in the front loop only like I would, and then I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch, and here I'm not going to chain 20. I'm going to single crochet one more time in the front loop only, and then chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then I'm going to work back down this chain. And as you can see, it just kind of makes the legs look a bit more even out, as you will see once I get all 8 legs made. Okay, so now we have all 8 tentacles made. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now to finish this round, you're just going to single crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to single crochet one more time. This just makes it even with the rest of the legs. So then we are going to be going to the next round, and this is another decrease round. We're going to be decreasing for this round and the next round. There's only 2 rounds left. We're almost done. So now you're going to be working in those back loops of the previous round, and you're going to single crochet and then decrease. Now decrease really isn't that hard. I guess it is like a bit advanced compared to increasing, but you're just going to insert the hook into that first stitch but not pull through that loop. So if you watch here, I know I go kind of fast. It is so hard to slow down. You just pull up a loop and then insert it into the next stitch, and then pull up a loop and pull through all 3 loops. So you're going to single crochet and then decrease around until you get 12. And then after this round, it would be a good time to stuff it, because the next round we are going to decrease 6 times so that we have 6 stitches, and if you try to stuff then, it is a bit small. It's a pretty small hole, which makes it harder to put the stuff in. You can stuff it to however firm you want it. If you put more stuff in, it will not be as like soft and squishy. If you put less, it will be more squishy, more easy. Yeah, I don't know. What is that the right way to describe a stuffed animal's firmness? I don't know. But yeah, I kind of like to stuff it where it holds its shape, but is still like you can squeeze it and it holds its shape, I guess. So here we go. Just grab stuff in and try to grab like more than what you would need, because you can always pull it out. Sometimes when you add separate pieces of stuff in, it kind of just stays in one clump. With smaller pieces, you don't really have that much of an issue, but with bigger ones, you kind of notice where the stuffing is not all one piece. Like you can feel that it's like when you do a bunch of little pieces of stuffing, it ends up being kind of like lumpy. So I like to try to put more than what I need when I'm working on bigger pieces. So now it is stuffed and we are just going to decrease around. So nothing new. This is the last round, almost done. This is a really easy pattern, I think, for someone who is beginning to learn amigurumi. It's mainly single crochets. Increase, you need to know how to do that, but again, that's just increasing. It's just single crocheting twice in one stitch, and decreasing is a bit advanced, but you just you go through the first stitch, the next stitch, you pull up a loop, you don't yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, you go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops. The half double crochets and double crochets are a bit advanced, but crochet is just pulling loops through other loops. So to finish, you're just going to slip stitch into the next stitch and then chain 1 and cut the yarn and pull up like the yarn through that loop. And then to sew it closed, you're going to want to leave a tail when you cut it off. You're just going to work through those front loops. That's what I like to do. I feel like it gives it a bit more of a clean close-in. And then just pull it tight so that you don't see that hole, and you're going to make a few knots. I do like 2 or 3 just to like kind of be sure that it's not going to come apart, because I would not want that to happen after I spent all that time working on a piece. And then after you've tied a few knots, you just weave the tail of the yarn into the octopus. So you just put the needle through and have it go out through a different side, and then pull it a little bit tight and cut it so that you don't see that tail sticking out. And here you have got a complete jellyfish or octopus, whatever. You can kind of curl those tails a little bit just so that it looks a bit more even. If the yarn stays when you curl it, that's great. If not, you'll just have straight tentacles. But yeah, it is complete. I hope you enjoyed this and make your own jellyfish / octopus. Thank you so much for watching. If you do make this, please do share it with me. I really like crochets. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye.